Now, I brought you here because this is one of our biggest projects that we have done. So 2020 was a good year for us. We worked in this. This is actually like a small technical school in South Texas. This is here by 83 in the city of FAR. And I wanted to show you, come over here, and I wanted to show you, we installed this lane of Texas sage, and under here we installed red mulch. This was about, we installed about 4 cubic yards of mulch, and if I'm not mistaken, we have about 30 Texas sage that we installed. This was in 2020. We also, here I'm walking towards the back right now of the front, towards the beginning of the entrance of this building. And now, as you can see, these plants here are yuccas. As you can see, yuccas and Texas sage are low water plants that don't really need much. So that's why they choose them, or the designer choose these plants. Now in this section, there's no water. We installed a palm here in the middle. This is a Robalina palm, and that what didn't survive. These guys here survive because they don't need much water. That's like the main reason. So this is an old building. This is it used to be a Walmart when I was a kid. We used to come here and shop, but today the local district, purchase it and remodel it into a school, a technical school. They have different classes here. It's a very nice building, and I think they did a good job, because if you kind of stop and think and imagine this was a Walmart and you have this vegetation, I think it's very good. They did a very good job, and of course, in this time we didn't do the design. We did the installation. So the red mulch is a reference to the colors of the school. So I think that was pretty good. And let's walk to the front now. I want to show you a little bit in the front. We have other plants over here. This is here before we go to the front. This is a Texas mountain laurel. The flower could be like purplish or pink, in between purple and pink. Sometimes a light pink or a darker purple. But right now, as you can see, uh, it should be growing some flowers in a few months when spring comes in. So the tree obviously has 3-point size since we installed it 5 years ago. But all this section in here has drip line, so it has been very beneficial. Now it would be nice if they trim this every month or every 2 months. For at least 6 months, they're gonna get more. The in between the branches is gonna get packed with new leaves and new branches. Now here, this plant that you're seeing here is the firecracker. And the firecracker is also a plant that needs very little water. It's kind of a desert plant. And here you can see about 15 of these plants. This section is really nice. And I like the transition, because you start with the big guys in the back with this Texas sage, and then you move into the firecrackers. Now, what I wanna specify and express, that the mulch has to be changed or reinstalled every 2 years, every year sometimes. But obviously, 5 years ago, this is not the same mulch, but the school district decided to clean the beds and put more mulch. What I did see is that the weed barrier we installed is still in there. So I'm happy. I'm happy that the wheat barrier is in there because the wheat barrier, if it's not working properly, then they would have had to remove the wheat barrier, put new wheat barrier, and then do them again totally from the bottom up. But I'm happy that I can see the wheat barrier that we installed, because it means that it did a good job. Of course, you can see some weeds again, but you don't see this overgrowth of weeds taking over the garden beds. So I think as the years move and I see the work that we have done through the years, I'm very excited, and I'm very proud of seeing this, because then it is a sign that we're doing a good job. Over here, so the transition from Texas sage to the cracker firecrackers to the this this aloe veras it's a really nice transition. Now, over here towards the front section of the school, it's so interesting because all this section is grass. Here we install 14 pallets of grass. Now this grass, they brought it to us, the contractor got it, and we did the installation. We didn't do the purchase of the grass. This grass is St. Augustine, but it was mixed with Bermuda, and that's the way they brought it with us. It had a very minimal Bermuda, but still it was mixed. And at the long run, even though you have 1%, if you don't take care of it, one or the other one will thrive more, or it can kind of mix into a bigger percentage. But as you can see, in the middle, we install DG decomposed granite in between the flags, or in the backside of the flags. We install decomposed granite, and then under all this grass, the designer, the contractor and designer, the engineer, they decided not to do sprinklers. They did irrigation through drip line. And you can see over here another section where the drip line is not even working at this point. Maybe they have turned it off. Over here, as you can see, all this exposure is that when you lay down the drip line, then you lay over the drip line, the grass. Since there's a fence here with the weed whacker, they just they remove the grass and the soil. So that's why it's like that. But yeah, we can see some pieces over here. So I mean, it's always nice. I think they have dogs because that thing has a lot of bites. I don't know how they have dogs in here, but the drip line has bites. Well, at least it looks like bites. I don't think the students here are eating that, right? But all this is drip line. Obviously, at this point, I can see that it's not operating or working properly. So we installed the valves in this section, and we installed these big uh, boxes, because next to the valve we put the filters and pressure regulators for the drip line, for that way they wouldn't blow apart. So that's why we went with this huge 24. They're like 12 by 18 or 14 by 24 boxes. I believe they're 14 by 24 boxes. So we have three sections in this. Here, three boxes, three, and the backflow it's over there by the street. Now, but from the backflow towards us, towards the middle, that's where we installed the grass, the St. Augustine. We didn't go all the way around. We didn't went all the way around. It was just from those palms and the backflow towards us, and then all this section here. Now, this was 14 pallets. Each pallet came with approximately 400 square feet, and that's where the grass lay down. We did one tree over there. I don't remember if we did another tree on this side. I don't really remember, but that one, that it's a Texas mountain laurel, and it looks beautiful. um, and as you can see, I like this garden bed. I think 2 weeks ago, no, 2 weeks, 2 months or 3 months ago, I mentioned in our residence, I had work on a garden bed that was 200 feet long, but I don't know if this is more than 200. It could be more than 200, and I think this is the longest bed after the one of that residence that I have worked. This is approximately 200 feet by just by looking at it. Maybe it's a little bit more, and it's 4 feet wide. In the front is like 6 inch wide, 6 inch, 4 feet, and in the front is like 6 feet wide. It's not only the excitement of doing the job, but it's also the excitement of, like, you can come by and you can see the work. Like sometimes if you work at home in the backyard, you really can't access it. So it's nice to come by, see the work we did 5 years ago, and see all the plants thrive. It looks beautiful, and it's like, as always, any job, any landscaping, like any home, when you build, you gotta maintain it. You gotta invest in it again. So I don't know. We should ask around. Maybe we can fix this irrigation system again and have it have it work properly. So I wanted to show you this because I want you to get to know Southern Landscapers and what we are all about, and what type of projects we can take on and tackle them and have a positive result. And you can hire someone that has a license, that is registered, that has a business, a formal business, and it's a trusted business. So we have been operating since 2016, and we have done many jobs, but honestly, I have been the owner, founder, and operator. So I have been, imagine, if you also have a business, you know what I'm talking about. And in this video is to spread out in my community, because that's the only way people are gonna know who we are and what we about. So if you like it, follow us, share the video. If you know someone that is interested in working with us, maybe doing an installation, we're doing concrete now, we're doing irrigation, we're doing artificial turf and natural turf, as you know. So if you guys are interested in working with a reliable company that is gonna take and tackle your job, give us a call. We can offer you, for now, we are offering free estimates. However, on the side of the design, we do charge for the design. If you have a design already, it's gonna be very helpful. If you don't have a design, we can work with you. If it's something simple, you don't really need a design. But if you want something, a total transformation of your front yard or backyard, then that's when we need a design to make sure that every single aspect and detail is covered, and at the end we have a positive result with our installation and our work, and that way you have a good experience with us. So my name is Mario Rodriguez. We're Southern Landscapers here in the city of Far, McAllen, Edinburgh, but we work all along the RGV. So if you need anything with landscaping, give me a call.